A lot of people call RVing glamping.
And nothing says glamping like having a dishwasher while you camp. Hey, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy campers.
And after losing a combined weight of more than 200 pounds,
we realized we had so much more energy for activities.
Come along with us as we explore the great outdoors.
And join us on a brand new adventure.
So you're actually joining us in our kitchen.
Yay.
The only part of our house that is currently almost finished. I mean, it still needs a backsplash. And for the last several months, we have been living in our RV while we are renovating the house that we bought on the Double K farm.
Talk about an adventure. This is a very new adventure, Joe.
And about 9 months ago, we actually reviewed a portable countertop dishwasher from Hava. It is the Hava R09.
I just have to hug this and kiss it because at the time we were reviewing this dishwasher, I did not realize it was going to become my residential dishwasher.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about RVing as glamping. As a matter of fact, I was one of those people because I was an Eagle Scout. For me, camping was about going out into the woods, building a lean-to, like not even bringing a tent with you. So when we started RVing, I quickly learned that RVing isn't necessarily about camping. It's about meeting people and exploring this amazing country. And you get to bring your hotel with you and you get cool conveniences. But one convenience that most RVs doesn't have is a dishwasher.
Right. And we thought, well, this is a cool thing. It may be fun. Maybe we would use it once in a while. I did not realize that this was going to be something that we use every single day.
So since August, we have run this every single day. And it has been a great dishwasher. It has been perfect for two people. And I really cannot speak highly enough about this dishwasher. We've had zero problems. It's gotten off stubborn stains, even like wing sauce that got caked on and we didn't do the dishes till the next day. I mean, it has worked fantastic. Well, Hava has come out with a brand new model. It's called the R09.
And here it is right here.
So this is the brand new Hava Labs R09. This is the old version, the R01, which is currently still available on their website. And basically what they've done is they've taken the R01 and they've made some really cool improvements to come out with the R09.
And I'm going to say that all of the improvements that they've made would be something that I would have requested if it was possible. And I'm glad that it's possible now.
One of the changes that they made was the rack.
And that was really important. So we have, a need for 2 place settings, and we could fit all of our needs in here. But because of the way that the pegs were set, you sort of had to play a little bit of Tetris. Now, I am not complaining. I was thankful that we had this dishwasher, but the fact that you do not have to play that same game of Tetris to fit in all of the dishes really does help.
So what they've done is they basically reimagined the dishwasher rack so that instead of fitting 2 place settings, you can actually now fit 3 place settings simply by moving the pegs around. And we'll go over the inside of the R09 and some of the other differences in a minute. But one of the things I wanted you to see before we put away the R01 is one of the similarities, aside from the fact that they're both dishwashers and they're both countertop, and the fact that you still can fill them up here so you don't need to hook them up to a faucet, though you can. And it's got a drain hose so you don't have to hook it up to like a pipe. The biggest similarity is the footprint. They both take up the same exact amount of space.
And that is awesome. To be able to fit more but have this same footprint is amazing because, hey, kitchen countertops, even in our residential kitchen, it is a commodity. Like, space is limited. Now think about your RV. Now we have to only put the prized possessions on that countertop. And the fact that I don't have to give up anything else to be able to enjoy this dishwasher is really amazing.
So we have been living in our Alliance Delta 294RK, which does not have a lot of counter space.
No.
It is a travel trailer. And what is really cool about the Hava Labs dishwasher is it fits underneath the cabinet. So yes, it will fit under a residential cabinet, but it also fits underneath the upper cabinets on an RV, which is nice that we've been able to tuck it off into the corner. Now, if you're curious about the size, I do have a tape measure over here. The specifications are on the website. I just wanted to give you a quick idea in the video. So at the deepest point, this is about 16.5 inches. It is about 16.5 inches wide, and it is just over 18 inches tall. And you're gonna see the same thing over here, just over 18 inches tall. At the deepest part, it is about 16.5 inches. And then the same thing on the width, right around 16.5 inches. And again, the exact measurements are listed on the website, but I love the fact that they were able to make improvements without altering the size at all.
So now let's focus our attention on this model. Traditionally, whether I'm at home or we are RVing, the thing that I hate the most is the water spots when you are washing dishes. It's hard to avoid those because of hard water.
Yeah, you get this hard water and you get the little specks. As a matter of fact, today I washed my car and like I've got these hard water spots all over. It's kind of frustrating. And it's no different when you're doing dishes, whether it be at home or in the RV or by hand. You get these little spots all over your glasses and stuff. And when you look at it, you're like, it's still dirty.
Right.
Well, Hava Labs has fixed that with the Ro9. They've added in a built-in water softener. So in the bottom of it, there is a little reservoir that you fill up with dishwasher salt. Now, dishwasher salt is basically sodium chloride, but it is larger. It's made specifically for dishwashers. And you fill it up and then you add a little bit of water in there. And then that removes the hardness from the water so that you can have spot-free dishes when you're done.
And again, that is not like we're throwing stones over at the older model. It's just, this is truly an upgrade because it just makes everything look beautiful.
Now, this unit still uses the same amount of water as the old one, where you can either hook it up to a faucet. It does come with like an attachment if you want to permanently hook it up or screw it into the bottom of your faucet. Or what you can do is they provide you with a pitcher and you simply unscrew this top, as I get water all over my face, and you fill it up with about 3 pitchers. And it's got a little beeping sound that lets you know it's filled. And then you don't have to have it like right there connected permanently to a water source.
And that is important for me. I know that there are some RVs that come with a dishwasher, but we wanted something that was not a part of the RV, because if something went wrong, we would be able to replace it easily and not have some sort of, space that's just a void. Honestly though, we have never had any problem with this countertop dishwasher. So I really love the products that they're making. And I like the fact that I do not have to connect it to a water line. I enjoy just filling it on my own with a pitcher.
And then when it comes to draining, it's the same thing where it has this little drain hose and you simply take this hose and you put it in your sink and it drains out in the sink. Or when we were playing with it here in our kitchen, we actually had it dumping into a 5-gallon bucket. So you could even use it outside. If you're on a long camping trip, say 2 or 3 weeks, and you don't want to give up counter space, you can actually put it on a picnic table or under your awning or something on the outside of the RV and have it out there and do all of your dishes outside and not even worry about anything. And, again, have the water go into a 5-gallon bucket, and then you could use that water for flushing toilets or something like that if you are dry camping or something like that.
And that is very important too, because again, when we travel, water conservation is really important to us. And so we love the fact that this doesn't use a lot of water and that we can collect the water afterwards if we wish.
So let's talk about some of the other improvements that they've made, because they are significant. Aside from the water softener, they've also now added in an 18-hour delayed start. So let's say you've got your dishes, you want to wash them at night while you're sleeping, or you want to have it turn on first thing in the morning, while you're sleeping, so that everything is nice and, clean when you wake up. It's got an 18-hour delayed start feature on there.
Well, and I really like that because my intention is to set the dishwasher at a specific time, based on our sleep and what we're doing during the day. However, I can forget, my intention is to turn this thing on before we go to bed, but sometimes I just forget and I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh shoot, I should have run the dishwasher. So it's nice that I can kind of like set it, put all my dishes in, and then let it run, with that cycle.
Now, one of the things that we didn't like about the other one, and this was a little petty thing, was the fact that we didn't really use the dry cycle that much,
Right.
Because again, electricity, and we would put plastic in there, and then the plastic would like maybe warp or something like that. So we generally never used the drying feature. Plus it added a lot of time onto it. So even in our home, I tend to not use that heated dry. But the problem is that you would actually have this now where the dishes have been washed, but you've got this moisture inside of the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're, let's say, leave the dishes in there, maybe for a day or longer, you could end up getting like that mildew smell because you've got moisture in there.
And then all you want to do is wash the dishes again. So you don't want to do that all the time.
So what they've done in the new model is they've added in a 72-hour ventilation cycle that you can turn on or turn off. And if you turn it on, what happens is it basically intermittently brings in some fresh air and allows it so that you don't have that buildup of moisture or odors inside of there. So let's say you do the dishes and then you're going to park your RV and you're going to be gone for a day. Maybe you're going exploring or something like that. It'll continue to bring in fresh air so you don't get that moisture buildup inside of it.
And we live in South Florida, so that can be problematic. Humidity is already a factor. Now, I will say we have never had a problem with a mildew buildup in the old one. However, we have had like a smell. So it's really refreshing that with this new unit, there's no mildew and there's no smell.
Now, another feature that they have added into this, which it doesn't really apply for us, but I could see how it could apply for other people, is they've put in a child lock feature on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think some of the biggest things that I really like about it is they've improved the washing. So you, instead of having a 5-wash cycle machine, which is what you had in the Ro1, in the Ro9, there is now 7 wash cycles. They have added in an eco cycle that uses less electricity and a little bit less water. And that's for like lightly soiled dishes. But I think the better thing that they've added in here is a self-clean cycle. So they recommend, if you are using it on a daily basis like we are, to once every couple weeks run a self-clean cycle. And it basically puts in hot water. It heats the water up to 167 degrees. So you don't have to add hot water. It actually heats up all of the water for any of the different cycles. And then it cleans and scrubs the inside of the dishwasher to wash away any of like maybe food particles or anything like that that's accumulated along the sides or on the bottom.
And I really enjoy that because we watch our grandbaby very often. And so if you are washing like baby bottles, things like that, it's just nice to know that you have that sanitizing feature. We also have used it as a dishwasher to clean like our canning jars and things. So anything that can help you have more peace of mind when it comes to not having any kind of like bacteria or anything like that, it makes it really nice.
So let's go ahead and turn it on. I'm going to show you on the screen a few of the different features and some of the different wash cycles, because they actually have renamed a couple of the cycles, and then we'll come back and wrap this up. Okay, so basically to turn it on, you simply press the power button. If you want to turn it off, you press and hold the power button. So we'll turn it on, and like I said, you have a normal cycle. Now you have an eco cycle, which is 59 minutes. You have the quick cycle that takes 29 minutes. Then they have the strong cycle. On the Ro1, the strong cycle was called like baby bottles or something like that. And basically this is where you're going to heat up the water to 167 degrees, and it's going to really do a heavy cleaning, obviously at 89 minutes. Then they have a glass cycle for more delicate things. And then they have the fruit cycle, which is really for washing things, but it's just going to use the room temperature water. So whatever the water is that you put in the machine, it's going to use that. It's not going to heat it up at all. Then they do have the self-clean cycle, the dry cycle, and then as we talked about, they have the delay, and then they have the child lock that's right over here. And when the delay, you can simply tell it how many hours do you want to delay, up to 17 hours. Now, when we go inside, we'll take a look at this, and we can take a look at the rack. One of the things that I wanted to show you is that it does fit inside Stanley mugs. And I'm going to go ahead and let me grab the rack from the Ro1 to show you some of the difference. Okay, so you can see here's the two different racks. This is the one from the Ro1. This is the one from the Ro9. And if you look at these little placeholders, these pegs for holding the dishes, you see how they're just all over the place? And unlike in a normal dishwasher in a house where a lot of times these will fold down, none of these fold down. So they are in a permanent place. So you have your dishes here, you have your little cutlery piece here, which we just always take off the top, which you can put it in the back or you can put it up in the front, but that's about it. So sometimes you end up just taking it out. And then you still have the little flip down thing for putting a couple of mugs or something like that. But you can just kind of see how these pegs are. Now on the new model, you can see how they've rearranged these pegs. So now there are no pegs in this area here. So if you have like an air fryer basket or something like that, it fits in here because you don't have these pegs. And then they move the pegs closer together so that you can put in your plates. And then there's some other open areas as well. And then once again, your cutlery piece can come right out. So just by moving these little pegs around, you're able to fit more things in here comfortably. Speaking of which, let's show you an air fryer basket.
My favorite cooking device when we are on the road or even when we're at home is my Tasty air fryer. So I love the fact that when I'm done cooking in the Tasty air fryer, I can fit the basket in here, no problem. And I can also fit other things as well.
Now, while we're inside, let's go ahead and just show you some of the things that I really like. First of all, here is your water softener feature right here. So you simply remove this lid right here. And then in there, you're going to add your dishwasher salt, and then you fill it up with water. Over here, you have not only a spray arm on the bottom, but there is also one up on the top. And then one of the things that I really like is this triple filter. So you have a piece right here that can grab, like any kind of food debris. And then you also have the screen here. And then you have another one over here.
Another thing I love about this dishwasher is the fact that it can handle large plates. I'm a girl who loves to eat burger patties and bacon, and I'm gonna tell you, I want to use this type of plate, this big giant plate. The problem is Joe actually hates these plates because they have a hard time fitting in our residential cabinets, but this is what I wanna use.
These are big plates. So I have my tape measure here again, and you can see these plates are 11 inches wide because they have this big fancy rim around them, and they barely fit in our kitchen cabinets behind us. Like when you close the cabinet door is actually hitting the edge of them. But when it comes to this dishwasher, they actually fit in here. You can close up the dishwasher. The top here still spins and everything gets clean. So even though I don't like these dishes because of their size, they do fit into this dishwasher.
And so they stay.
The other thing that I think is a really cool little added benefit to the new model is the fact that they have actually moved the controls from the top to up here on the front.
And that's really helpful because you can push your dishwasher even further back on the kitchen cabinet, because when it's on top, you kind of have to pull it forward in order to access the buttons, depending on where your kitchen cabinets are. But for us, now that it's on the front, I can push it way back and make a lot of room for other things on my kitchen countertop.
The last thing that I wanted to mention is that they have actually improved the energy efficiency of this. So this is now a Class D appliance, which means that a cycle uses about 0.35 kilowatts of energy. And for someone like us who like to do some boondocking, and we've got an extensive Big Beard battery solar system installed on our RV, that's really important to us, because in the past I would have to be like, okay, Rachel, I don't want you to run the microwave. I don't want you to run the dishwasher, because that's going to eat up the battery. And you have your choice, either the dishwasher or air conditioning, but you can't have both.
Now I don't have to make that choice. I can have air conditioning and dishwasher.
So overall, I like the improvements that they've made to this dishwasher, but they did come at a price. I do want to say, by the way, I should have said this earlier in the video, this video is sponsored obviously by Hava Labs. They did provide us this dishwasher for the purpose of this review. However, they have no say in the content of the video. They don't have to get to see it ahead of time, and we don't get any money. No money is exchanged hands, and we don't make any money off of any sales or anything like that. We're simply giving you our opinion on it because we did like the first one. So with that being said, this new unit does cost more money than the Ro1. So the Ro1 at the time that we're recording this video is on sale for $269.99. This unit is on sale for $319.99. It costs about $50 more than the R01.
But I do think that the modifications that they've made really make it worth it.
So that is the R09 dishwasher from Hava Labs. And like I said, I think it's a great dishwasher. Personally, I like them both. And it's really up to you to decide whether or not you think that the extra features are worth the $50. Rachel absolutely feels they are, especially when it comes to the water softening feature.
Yeah, that has just really taken it over the top.
So we will leave a link down below in the description box for this dishwasher. Like I said, we don't make any money if you use that link. We do want to say thank you very much to Hava Labs for sending us the dishwasher for the purpose of this review. And this thing will absolutely be living in our brand new RV that we are heading up to Elkhart to pick up. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, please do us a favor. Can you head down below and hit the like button on this video? That does two things. Number one, it really does help build our channel. But more importantly, it lets us know what kind of videos you guys are looking to see.
Also, don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time,
Happy camping.